This is how I'm going to replace a hot water heater. Step one, go on vacation or a trip and almost guaranteed you'll come back to a leaking something. So now that the job's all done, I can tell you exactly what tools you're probably gonna need. Definitely need a flathead and a Phillips head. The flathead I use to open the drain on the bottom of the deal. There's a couple different styles, so you might need a pair of channel locks, or even a crescent wrench would work for that. Phillips head and or ratchet to take the screws off the top for the wiring connections. I got a Klein tool voltage tester to look for stray voltage. I didn't actually need it on this, but you might need it on yours. Pipe wrench is always handy tightening stuff up. Teflon tape. I use a drill to punch a hole in the side of the tank to expedite the draining. A type B crimp tool and crimp fittings, and a go no go gauge for the PEX type B. If yours is type A, it'll have like a piece of PEX that's a little bit bigger than the PEX as a ring, and then you have to have a tool that flexes it open. I didn't have that. Maybe yours is gonna be brass. Mine's PEX type B, so this is all I'd need. I grabbed me a light because it's in a closet with no light. Tape measure is always nice for whenever you're trying to make estimated measurements on how long the PEX needs to be to bring it back down. And I grabbed a couple of fresh wing guard twist on wire connectors to make the connection. So what I found was water standing in the pan below. Looks like a little water is escaping the pan. We got water standing on top, and I think it's not really dripping there, but I think that's kind of where the leak is starting. It's out of this little 2-gallon tank. Dang, I didn't grab another one of those. Shoot. Alright, so we're going to start by getting the water shut off, and then we will drain this tank, see how long that takes, and go from there. Alright, so before you drain it, you want to make sure your power's off. I guess that doesn't really matter, being that the hot water heater's ruined anyway, but no point in adding problems, right? That, and we got leaks on top, probably draining into the electrical connection, so I want to go ahead and fix that also. Now, I don't need this particular job, but whenever I was watching a video just to see how much of a pain this would be, I saw this dude had a volt sensor, I guess you'd call it, voltage sensor. Anyhow, I thought to myself, man, that could come in really handy at times for sure. So while I was at the Home Depot, I picked one up, and I think push the power button, and you know, put the batteries in the right direction. You probably could read that. All right, so thing's pretty simple. It's not actually perfect though, because whenever I was going around down here, you have to actually find the main line pulling voltage for it to kick. And apparently down here at the base, it must be in the center. But up here, It's the one on the outside there. Anyhow, I just thought this would be a pretty nifty little, you know, test for voltage. Doesn't matter to me because I can just unplug it. Yeah, so it works on the wall outlet. I don't know. I just thought that would be a nice little voltage tester, quick check. Make sure something has power, and then you know, simplify life. All right, now that we got it unplugged, I think I'm going to try and drain into the drain pan we already have and have it flush out that way. All right. Shut the water source off. I heard these sometimes they get clogged up with sediment, so I just left the water on just to give it a little extra oomph. Seems to be clear, so I'm gonna go ahead and break it open and see where the water goes. Alright, so I got the bottom opened all the way. Just kind of watching the pan, make sure it doesn't run over. Seems to be going out. Couldn't get it to drain, so I shut all the water off to the whole house. Still couldn't really get it to drain. So I just opened up this vent on top, and we got a pretty steady stream coming out. So hopefully that clears out pretty quick. Once I blowed all the pressure off, I pulled the portable accumulator tank off. No pressure, cut the line. Still nothing, cut that line. And I cut this line down here. And then backed all the fittings off. Just steadily letting it drain into the pan. It's taking a long time. I did forget to get the accumulator tank, so I may run to town real quick and grab that. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much ready to start bringing the other one in. All right, so after a couple of trips back and forth, went to a plumbing store to get a couple extra ball valves and whatnot. I went ahead and put a ball valve on both the inlet and outlet. I cut off the pop-off back to here. For all I know, that just plumbs down into that pipe. I don't really know how they got that set up. It goes somewhere. The new one will be, instead of being here, it'll be up on top. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to run that around. I don't really know. We'll figure that out here in the near future. We are still draining. It's been an hour and a half maybe. I don't really know exactly. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm about to turn the water on and see if my crimping tool worked and if we keep the water out or not. All right, let's check it out. We finally got this thing drained. I ended up drilling a hole here and it drained dramatically faster. Had to put a plate in front of it to keep it from spraying over the ground. Got a little bit on the ground, but she is now empty. So now I'm gonna break my back and get it out of here. All right, now that we got everything out, you can see it must have been dribbling. I'm guessing this connection right here was leaking just a little bit. So it's keeping it a little bit damp underneath. I know for sure there wasn't standing water in it a few weeks ago. I went ahead and put a fresh shutoff valve on the inlet side and the hot side. For power, went ahead and got it hooked back up. The pop off is now on top instead of the front, so I ran it over, crimped it. I'm gonna send it around the front back to the original exit. We got a expansion tank over there we'll put on top. Then I'm gonna do a fitted barb to PEX 90 up to the roof, and this one be a fitted barb to PEX straight to the roof. So that's where we're at. We gotta get this closet dried out a little bit, and then once that all dries up, we'll put the pan back in, and we'll put the hot water heater back in. Should be good. Plan. All right. Tragedy is struck by GoPro corrupted the footage something. So the job is done. We got our new hot water heater, the Harem Performance Platinum. It has a, where's it at? Well, has it in here. 12-year tank, 12-year parts warranty. That's the reason why I bought it. It also has smart features, so I connect it to my phone. I can change temperature. I can turn it down if we're on vacation, turn it back up. That's pretty nifty. Of course, it still functions with just the push of a button. So the last you saw, the water heater was out and we were about to put this one in. They're heavy. This is way less heavy than the one coming out. I would recommend another person. I went with a plastic tank pan to catch water if it does come out, just for the simple fact that I felt like possibly metal on metal, add a little moisture, expedites the rust factor. We got a brand new expandable expansion tank, whatever they're called. It's pre-pressurized. I think it's right. Everything seems to be functioning normally. I put in a fresh ball valve on the inlet side, a fresh ball valve on the outlet side, just so you can shut it all the way off if you have a leak wherever. Reason why I have this extra connection here in the middle is I did not get these tight enough. I saw something where it said, you know, you don't have to bear down on it too hard, but these are just pipe thread, so I recommend pretty snug. I think I have a 12-inch pipe wrench. Sorry, I have a 14-inch pipe wrench. It's pretty crummy. Don't buy high top pipe wrenches, it sucks. I had to shut the water off, drain it down, back down into the tank so these lines were clear. Then I cut it here, I cut it here. I had to tighten both this side and this side. The expansion tank was loose. At the bottom of the T was loose, and then I just went ahead and tightened this up a little bit tighter. And then repressurized the tank. Everything seemed to work. For power, mine is wired up with a plug in the closet. So all I have to do is unplug to lose power. If you don't have that, if you're hardwired in, make sure you get one of those little testers, and then make sure you turn the power off at the fuse box. You know, double check. Nobody wants to get electrocuted. And then up here on top, the first one had screws like this. It had a socket head on top of them and a Phillips head. And then you just make your connection in there, put your plate back down. Pretty simple. the pop off. I have it plumbed in, down and around, over to the wall. Crimp connections. PEX B crimp is, you gotta put some oomph into it, but pretty simple. I mean, I don't have didn't have any issues with it, so I think pretty much anybody can figure that out. And that's it. You want to change out your hot water heater, go on vacation. I'm sure you'll come back to a wet house. This ream seems to be pretty good. It was $200 more than the base model 50 gallon. It did go from a 4,500 watt to a 5,500 watt element. But most importantly, it went from like a 3-year warranty to a 12-year warranty. My first one had a 6-year warranty, lasted 12 years. So I'm just hoping that this means this thing will last well past the time that I want to sell the house. I hope this helped you out. If you're somebody that watches me for automotive content, sorry about that. Things happen, and my free time's my free time. Sometimes we got to do a hot water heater instead of work on a car. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped you out. If you want to see more home DIY, this old house type, poorly videoed this old house type stuff, make a comment, you know. Hopefully we'll be back on a car next week. We'll see you next time.